So welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Summoner's Rift for game number 1 between That Tasted Purple and the KC Bad Manners Club, spawning on the blue side of the rift, wearing the blue health bars this game, and the nice blue on the scoreboard is going to be the KC Bad Manners Club, as we can't follow them at all. It'll be Paradox in the top lane playing Jax, the Harrowing in the jungle playing Zac, A&G El Immortal in mid playing Karma, and Molto and Facturar in the bot lane playing Zyre and Verkan.
Rocking the red health bars, sitting in this party bush right now, possibly invading, possibly not. We've got HQ up on the Volibear top. We've got FM on the Warwick in the enemy jungle right now. Duckster on Zoe, and Tacit Noctua and Shy Guy on the Sivir Zyra combo.
So these are interesting setups. Normally we've seen a little bit more defensive setups. Shout out to Paradox for not getting any vision right now. But the four-man cluster in kind of the red part of the jungle, they seem to know that the strength of that Tasted Purple is sitting in that bush, but I don't think they're aware of the Warwick and Volibear in their, on their blue side.
Do you think they're going to steal that buff away to start? Try and slow down the Zac, who already has kind of a slow and rough clear?
I'd imagine that's what they're going for, and there's not been exploratory vision really placed by either team, so they know that their blue is safe and they know that the enemy blue is safe, so they can assume that they're starting at their own red.
One other rune change I just noticed, the Zac is running Electrocute.
Maybe we will see the full AP Zac. I believe in the golden... I know there was a game for a little while where people would try to get the most ridiculous pose they could out of the Zanyas from Zac, because you can get this stretching while you go golden.
Mm-hmm.
I should probably have my chat forward, see if anybody's saying anything. Nope, nobody. Hello, chat.
Nobody loves us.
Early level 2 for Paradox. He's going to get a nice counter-strike in on HQ. Doesn't quite proc the passive for Volibear. I'm sure it's called like Fury of the North or something stupid like that. But the regenning passive. Oh. Hero of the Storm?
Chosen of the Storm.
Hero of the Storm, got it.
Chosen of the Storm.
How do you feel about this mid lane matchup? Zoe versus Karma, you would think...
About to take a bunch of damage.
Yeah, you would think it was kind of like that.
A little bit more there. I feel like Duxter could have backed up a little bit more with that Q. Gotten a little extra damage out of that trade, but still obviously a favorable trade.
Karma's normally a lane bully. Oh, this is an interesting gank and counter gank. Paradox has roamed down here. Duxter's forced to flash away under the tower. Heron's passive is going to be popped underneath the tower as the bloblets descend. I believe this is a little bit of an overextension. It was a cheeky little idea from Bad Manners Club, but not successful.
Yeah, it was an excellent idea, actually trying to punish the Zoe early. No teleport used from Paradox to save the Zac blobs. I believe the Zac actually canceled an auto that would have at least traded his passive for a kill.
Yeah, Duxter was super low underneath, well, even before the second jump in got super low, but had to burn the heal and the flash. So it could be revisiting. It's not all bad, but this might be a little bit painful now as the level 4 Volibear comes in and bites him.
17 CS lead now. Obviously a little bit of a wave to collect, but huge XP difference now. Unsuccessful try there in the mid.
Yeah, I really like the idea. Don't get me wrong. The execution, just a couple of tower shots tanked by Paradox, and then I believe the big one was Harrowing taking the last one, not able to trade himself out. This is looking a little bit better for Bad Manners Club. Nice trading from the Zion Rakan and bottom. You would think Sivir and Zyra would have a push advantage, but Zion Rakan doing a pretty good job holding in there and at least getting even trades so far. Ooh, really nice snare from Shy Guy. It's going to clamp out any more aggression that they have planned. FM's in the area on the Warwick. I believe he's spotted by I think that's an enemy ward. No, it's a friendly ward. So they actually didn't know. FM's here in mid lane, coming after Elemental, who's low. Gonna get the fear, not quite the correct direction, tanking a lot of tower shots. The aftershock doesn't quite go off, and now FM's going to be in a little bit of annoying trouble as Harrowing is just around the corner to pick up the return kill. So both junglers up to 1-1 now, and both looking antsy to tower dive and having it bite them early. I'm hoping that means that we don't see them tone down the aggression, because again, I've liked both of the ideas, but...
Yeah, earlier you mentioned a 58-minute game here for that Taste of Purple, but with the aggression, hopefully that won't come to fruition this game.
Yeah, just backed out before that aftershock could proc, and it looked like might have canceled the Q or an auto to start with. So a little bit sloppy, a little bit rushed on the mechanics for both junglers, but so far a pretty even game. A little bit of an advantage. About a 500 gold lead for that Tasted Purple, but that doesn't usually translate into much, as we've seen.
Yep, not this early at least. There was the first blood gold, plus a small CS lead basically in every lane. Oh, and we got ourselves a pause.
Nice. So to touch on what we were discussing a little bit earlier, the mid lane matchup between Karma and Zoe. Normally Karma's a lane bully early. Do you see that reversing because Zoe's an even bigger bully, or just the way that matchup plays out?
From what I've seen, both as individual skill players from this match so far, and how they've played the super early game, I believe the Zoe is just going to bully her a little bit more. Karma has to kind of get to the side of the minions to get her harass onto Zoe, or at least get rid of the melee minions in the way. And the Zoe, every time that Karma does it, Zoe gets basically a free shot of this Sleepy Trouble bubble. I do at least respect the Catalyst buy for the Karma, going I guess a little bit more for scaling. The health of course will help keep her alive through one Zoe burst, or at least early Zoe burst. Maybe not so much once we get into the later stages of the game, but at least for earlier, it'll help keep her a little bit safer.
Yeah, and we see the first blood gold being used for that Tasted Purple as FM picks up the Tiamat. We'll have to see if anything happens up in top lane. Paradox is just gonna let him walk out. Respectable. Gives him one smack with the staff for his trouble. But the early Tiamat buy should give FM quite a bit of power. We'll have to see if he can exercise that before Zac starts getting tanky or damagey or really much of anything.
Actually, seeing the Volibear W at active indicator, that just reminded me of some of the changes that are coming. I believe he gets half his cooldown refunded on minion kills now for his W.
Oh.
And then they actually did a change to his Q. There's going to be a gank here in the top lane.
FM coming in, gets the fear not quite in the right direction there. Flash in from
Flash out from
Flash
Paradox.
out. Oh, okay. It was flash out from Paradox. It looked like a flash in from HQ the way that it was, but yeah, he's going to get out, and now the lead's pretty much dissipated up there as Herring jumps in mid. Duxter's taken pretty low, going to get... Oh, doesn't get tethered as he actually gets out of range. Pops the heal, the flash over from Zac, not successful. Duxter's going to put Karma to sleep, but it's not going to matter as Elemental finally picks up that kill.
So no necessary flash there from the Harrowing, but still did secure the kill, and it did go over to the Karma this time.
So
I do like the focus here from the Zac in the mid lane. The Zoe doesn't have flash, and she's immobile. When she happens to face check the bush, then you can just kind of do your thing and globulate on her. The electrocute actually did put in a decent amount of damage there early.
Shy Guy's wandering in here. He knew something was up, but I don't think he knew exactly how much. Just forced to flash away. Jump in from Zac's going to catch him, and there's the electrocute proc you were talking about as Harrowing picks up his second kill of the game. A Sleepy Trouble Bubble just a bit wide. I don't think she's quite got enough damage at this point to do much more than be an annoyance, unless maybe catches the Zac, who's a little bit low right now. Ooh, that's a nice grand entrance from Rakan. Not going to
two flashes used there. Molto and El Immortal both flashing over to try and get onto Duckster. Duckster, whose flash literally just came off cooldown, basically instantly used once again.
So we'll probably see more focus return to mid lane then. They've shown a lot of emphasis already on mid, and now with flashes down, should probably head back there. This is kind of cheeky from Bad Manners Club. Hey, you stole our first blue, we're going to go steal your second. Oh, we're going to grab a dragon as well, push you out of your own jungle, and yeah, that turned around pretty quickly. And we have yet to see Tacit Noctua get really involved in much of anything. I mean, it's harder on the Sivir early, obviously, because of the short range, but didn't roam over to really help his team out in the blue side jungle. A little bit of a quiet game, but does have that 15 CS lead, I guess, to show for it.
I mean, with Sivir, you know, it's simply just kind of farm. Then you hit your 3-item spike, and you're a champion. Kind of like Victor, but Victor is more so at least Sivir can press R and let other people run at them.
And Paradox taking the Demolish means he's really speccing in for the split push this game, not opting for the team fights, and the build even, he's going for the Tiamat for wave clear rather than a little bit of that raw power that you'll see from like a Trinity Force. And now FM is here, HQ has teleported up, they land the Chilling Smite, don't actually, oh I guess he did chain it into the Fear. Both Aftershocks going to proc, Paradox taken low, gets bitten, and FM's going to pick up the kill. I didn't see what with, but apparently did some sort of damage there.
Yep, I believe that he got another Q off cooldown. The Jaws of the Beast. I believe he actually timed that Jaws just in time to follow the leap from the Jax.
Oh. A little bit of a whiff there from Duckster. And you can see the effective range of Karma. If you're within her tether range, you're in for a hurt. But if you can pop out and then pop back in, as Duckster can with the Zoe, it gets a little bit easier, I guess. Harrowing and HQ kind of passing in the night, so they'll see the top laner roaming down for that taste of purple. Oh, doesn't land the paddle star there. Just coming out the tiniest bit behind in these trades is Duckster. Just missing by a couple of units on all of his abilities. Paradox and HQ gonna scrap up in the top lane, but I don't expect that either of them really have kill pressure at this point. Paradox seems like he's got a push advantage now built up with the 20 CS advantage. We'll have to see. They're looking to scrap. Ultimate from Volibear used. Paradox jumps in, uses the leap strike and the counter strike, bashing him down, and is going to get him through the regen as Harrowing makes an appearance. Just to say, hey, Zach's a friendly guy, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So Paradox straight up winning the 1v1 against Volibear. And you have to wonder then, if you're giving over the Volibear in Champ Select, and you pick you're giving over the Jax in Champ Select, you're picking specifically against it with the Volibear. I mean, I guess you have to have a little bit of foreknowledge about the matchup. It just seems like it's not working out for that Tasted Purple.
I was a bit puzzled by the Volibear pick. I'm assuming it was just something that HQ is comfortable on, because
FM's here trying to take down the Jax. Ooh, the Let's Bounce actually knocking him back toward Jax. He's going to pick up the kill with the Chilling Smite. FM, I believe, wins this 1v1 now. As,
he's 2 levels up.
Yeah, Warwick's a very strong duelist, even. Gonna go ahead and blobulate him. And pick up the kill for himself. I'm not gonna hand over any gold to my top laner. I'm gonna take that all. So FM up to 4-1 now on the Warwick.
I respect that FM. After my own heart. This place find the assassin player.
Ooh, the double demolish proc onto the turret. Maybe that was the strat the whole time. But yeah, big CS lead for Paradox. Ooh, is that a kill? Not quite. Oh! The W damage able to pick it up for El Immortal. How do you feel about that 1v1 there? Walk me through that one.
Well, I mean, you've got a completed item Karma, who's going to get a little bit of health back every time she uses an ability. Zoe at the time, she did just now complete the Merlinomicon, but she was running Lost Chapter and Atone, I believe. So, just off items alone, I wouldn't be fighting that as a Zoe.
It seemed like the Q should have had enough damage, but I guess the little shield from Karma plus the healing from W was enough to tank through it.
One other thing I just noticed like about a minute ago is Duckster is running Comet on the Zoe. I know that like we see pros mostly taking Spellbook because Spellbook is kind of the thing to do for them. But our resident Zoe expert is a huge fan of the summon area, I believe. I don't know, Luis, if you're in the chat, feel free to confirm that one. But as someone who kind of started picking up Zoe from watching him, that's pretty much always why I run area on her.
Rift Herald's going to go over to Paradox on that Jax. And he's already got his tower down. We'll have to see if they swap him maybe to bottom lane, maybe to mid lane. Or if he just tries to barrel down that inner turret. Second Air Drake's being pinged out. And they have numbers on that side of the map. It looks like the objective control just lapsing a little bit from that Tasted Purple. Flip's going to come on to Karma. The borrowed smite from Duckster, and he's going to finish it off with a Paddle Star. So they do collapse and pick up a kill. However, Rift Herald summoned in top lane, and they're on the dragon on the opposite side of the map. And this is where your shot calling gets taxed a little bit. They're choosing to try to scrap with the 3v3 and then send 2 top lane, and already dispersion from...
Cooldowns to note, Zach actually used Let's Bounce to get out of that Dragon Pit. He was not his Elastic Slingshot. So just an important engage and or I guess partial disengage tool used right there.
Ephem's been spotted. Ephem's 3 levels up on Harrowing, but going in 1v3 doesn't seem like the greatest idea. Teleport's coming in to the bottom lane. Another teleport being used. We're going to try to extend it out for this fight. Paradox lands a counter-strike onto Shy Guy. Nice ultimate, knocks up 3. Going to try to disengage. Ephem jumps back in. HQ rolls in with the Rolling Thunder. Picks up Molto, but he's going to go into that Zanya's Hourglass. Paradox jumps back in to try to re-engage. Lands the counter-strike on 2, but it's not going to be enough. Duckster makes an appearance around from the side, but doesn't land the Paddle Star. Does land the Sleepy Trouble Bubble, and then misses another Paddle Star. But the Boomerang comes through from Tacit Noctua to pick up the kill. Meanwhile, on the extended, El Immortal and Paradox have teamed up on the top side of the fight to take out Duckster. Paradox jumps back in as Shy Guy's taken very low. The Aftershock from HQ is going to allow him to tank it up, but he'll get away successfully. And let's settle down.
All in all, basically, I believe it's a 300 gold swing. I'm pretty sure there was a 100 gold lead previously for that Tasted Purple.
Yeah, and now we're at a 300 gold lead for KC Bad Manners Club. That was a pretty interesting fight. We had a lot of separate 1v1s and 2v2s that broke out in the middle of that fight. It wasn't like a cohesive 5v5 mass. We just saw individual people run into each other and kind of throw out their stuff. I think perhaps the most salient things that came from that, Paradox picked up another kill. He's almost done with his Trinity Force, which is a huge power spike. El Immortal might be in trouble, to interrupt my thought. Gets suppressed. The suppression wasn't up for that fight from Ephem. They are going to pick that up in the mid lane, though, as Ephem picks up his 5th kill of the game. Tacit Noctua picked up his 1st kill as well, so Sivir's on the board.
So, yeah, Triforce now officially completed for the Jax. Frozen Mallet on the opposite side of that. I definitely like the Triforce power spike a little bit more.
Yeah, the Frost Mallet, I used to play a decent amount of Volibear, and I can with some certainty say that I don't really like Frost Mallet on him. Doesn't seem like a great item. In general, you get more damage from building health, so even going for a Warmogs first, even as inefficient as that is a little bit more effective than the little bit of attack damage you get from the Frost Mallet. Is something whistling in your background? I'm just curious because I want to know if I need to do something. A little bit of a fight breaks out here. Molto's put to sleep underneath his tower and is going to fall as Duckster and Shy Guy have rallied. There's 4 men down here for that tasted purple. Elemental rotating a little bit late. Is going to pay for it with a chompening from Warwick. But now they're still going to continue to apply pressure. Paradox is unchecked in bot lane right now. By the way, there's no teleport available, and he's going to get some good damage on that inner turret at the same time. But outer tower goes down in bot lane for that tasted purple, and there's actually the tower falling. So successful tower trade as Jax does Jax things. Oh, the laundry's done. All right.
All right, I believe we're good. We might get a buzz saying cookies are done, but no songs being played anymore.
Okay. I was just making sure that wasn't part of my casting stuff.
Yep, nope.
I was concerned for a second because I had no idea what the noise meant.
I couldn't hear it through my headset, so it was good that you mentioned it. I might need to mute just for the sound of laundry being shaken out, so I'll just let you continue.
All right. So yeah, a kill plus the tower in bot lane in exchange for a tower in top. Seems like a little bit of an uneven trade, but the gold lead does swing back in favor of that tasted purple for the time being. And FM's going to take the blue buff for himself. He's got a reasonably fed Zoe, as we see. Demonstrated immediately. Thank you, Molto. I guess this is my time to shine. Alright. Static Shiv is completed for Sivir. She's got a lot of pushing power now. And the 4-man group from that Tasted Purple's kind of lightly pushing in toward mid lane. We've got a dragon live in 30 seconds. I don't know what flavor it is. It's a vape dragon. But they are getting a decent amount of work done on the push. Factory R tries to come in and initiate from the side. Ult from Molto is going to snare up too. HQ's just getting out of there. The Sivir ult going to help him turn and burn as they try to run away. HQ still in tether, gets out of it though. As time goes on, we'll have to keep track. There's no healing debuff currently for the Volibear passive whatsoever. Like no Morellos, no Executioner's Calling. So that may be a bit of a sticking point later on when that 30% heal accounts for just a gigantic amount of HP. I'm hoping Wing tells me when he's back. But for right now, the dragon started up for that Taste of Purple, and they're going to secure it to at least kind of level out the dragons. 2-to-1, all air dragons. Paradox is not gonna bother with his team. He's pushing right to the inhibitor turret, gets a big chunk out of it with that the demolish proc, and he seems to know what his win condition is today. As he's already taken that down. It's at only about 1200 health, and FM's gonna run into him. I don't believe this goes in his favor anymore, although I might be wrong. Although Factory R is here as well. So now the 2v1 as FM gets charmed up. Paradox just beating on him the whole time. Duckster makes an appearance over the wall, but Paradox is going to pick up the kill with the empowered auto.
Alright, we've returned from the lane of the muted. Another healing thing to talk about. I don't know if you mentioned it. I did hear the Volibear passive, but you do have to just count into Warwick healing as well.
Also true.
Especially off his ultimate.
Baron started out by KC Bad Manners Club. That's a level 9 Zac trying to tank Baron, but Paradox teleports in to try to help out. And stands on the backside where you don't want to stand. Ping's going down. That Tasted Purple seem to know. They're coming over very slowly. They get implicit vision of it now. Baron's at 3,000 health. Factory R comes in over the wall. Not able to get anybody. They're staying on this. Baron goes over, secured by the blue team as KC Bad Manners Club picks it up. Sleep onto Paradox. Whoa, that UI did not look right. There we go. And they're all going to get out.
Scuttle Crab is preventing Zoe from doing damage. It's always those neutral cancels that Zoe play. You just, oh shoot, my jungler didn't clear his raptors. I accidentally just wasted a Q on it. Or, oh, that Scuttle Crab's there.
So a gutsy call there from KC Bad Manners Club, able to pay off. They're going to lose one turret in return, but I think they're willing to pay that price at this point, especially if it can help them siege down some of these towers. With Baron, you have to think the inner tower in mid and the outer tower in mid and the outer tower in bottom lane should be pretty free. So we'll have to keep an eye on it. About a 1,000 gold lead right now for that Tasted Purple, although definitely not in the driver's seat in terms of pushing power right now. I wish we had a Baron power play graph. Paradox comes in, just assassinates Tacit Noctua. Shy Guy was there, just able to throw out the vines, but it wasn't didn't matter at all. And there's immediately the tower in mid lane that we said was free. This one probably ought not have been free, but because the AD carry's been assassinated, get a lot of nice push here. Paradox, meanwhile, is on the outer tower in bot lane. So we actually went for the Titanic Hydra with the Vampiric Scepter combo. I'm curious to see what he actually builds with that Vampiric Scepter. If he goes for a meme Blade of the Ruin King to just chunk down Volley Bear, or if he goes for like a Gunblade.
I really would have liked to seen a Sterex with that build, or with what he's got going so far. Sterex with Triforce and Titanic is a pretty dirty combination. Puts out a huge amount of damage while you're kind of silly tanky, and then with like Jax, since you got the health from the items, and then you just press R and get your resistances.
And we've been kind of tracking the Karma build. The GLP plus the Banshee's Veil combo is kind of a unique one. It kind of straddles the line between that full AP burst and the utility.
More than anything, I believe, is just try and survive the 2 AP carries from that Taste of Purple. Zyra, of course, has 30 flat magic pen right now, and looks to be close to either completing a Rylai's or that's going to be a tier 2 going down.
Yeah, Paradox is just single-handedly splitting the map and destroying towers. He's done a really nice job in those side lanes so far. Pretty much, I believe he's taken down... Yeah, he's taken down 4 of the 6 towers that they've gotten by himself.
Didn't exactly happen in lane, but we do have a Flame Horizon there in the top lane. At least in one way or another.
Yeah, also true. The really impressive CSing performance. We almost have the Flame Horizon in the jungle as well from Ephum, though. Creeping up.
So Baron has timed out now. I believe it was a swing of 3,500. And then a tower was picked up, like, maybe it was actually 4,500, with Paradox picking up that last tower bottom right before it expired.
And if they can get this one, I think they'll be in a very happy position, as they do break the inhibitor tower. Factor are not able to connect with the Recon W, and they'll go ahead and just walk it out as Paradox has gotten right to the doorstep again on the opposite side of the map.
That was just a Zoe Q.
Yeah, I'm curious, when is enough for that Tasted Purple? We saw they played the 58-minute game. They clearly have an idea of how to stall games out. When do you pull the trigger? When do you just Sivir ult and run at people?
Well, it looks like Sivir's actually going for another Zeal item, so she's delaying the IE massive crit spike. In terms of just more, I guess, reliability in terms of crit. So normally I would say wait until you get the IE done, but that's waiting another item and a half. So if she's going for like a Phantom Dancer and gets the extra resistances completed, that's maybe when I would just say go. Volley does have a Righteous Glory now to allow at least him to run at people really fast. So either you try and catch a high priority target, Paradox or Molto isolated, or you let Sivir reach her 3 crit item spike.
So we saw that Tasted Purple poke in toward the dragon, decide to check off of it, probably wisely, as they weren't all grouped up, and HQ teleported to top lane. So they're going to hand that over without any incident to Bad Manners Club.
Also, that was just a 28-minute Ocean Drake. At this point in the game, it might not be worth sacrificing a life for at all. And also, they did get that dragon in time for one more like elemental Drake to spawn before you got your 35-minute Elder. So it's actually another Ocean Drake, another boring dragon.
So getting unlucky with the dragons this game. Paradox has found HQ, and you can see the difference in the items there. HQ doesn't have any, like he's got a tiny bit of armor, I guess, from the Righteous Glory, but not a huge amount. All 5 members trying to collapse on the Jax, but that's... Unless you want to burn the Sivir ult for that, I don't think you're going to catch anybody. And this is hard. You think that Tasted Purple really needs a pick. And Bad Manners Club has done a really good job limiting their opportunity to get one.
Absolutely, and then...
here they do use it.
Now.
There's the On the Hunt burn. Paradox jumps in. We'll see if he can take anyone with him on this. Actually, Harrowing is going to jump in as well. He flashes back out. El Immortal's collapsed as well. And this team's actually pretty fast with the 2 air drakes. Excuse me. That's a really big quickening from Factory Roar as he hits every member, grouping them up for the Zaya ultimate. Now finally Duckster's going to fall as the first kill. Harrowing's passive is going to go down. Still trying to work on that. Shy Guy's taken really low, just trying to kill it. Harrowing's going to respawn though, and Paradox is teleporting back in. Harrowing does fall in the background, but the trade of 2 for 1, and now Paradox back at full health, just trying to put his stamp on the game. HQ taken down as Paradox picks up that kill. Molto does die to the tower, and the ricochets from Tacit Noctua. Paradox still going strong though. Jumps in on FM. Factor are not able to chain that up. The Karma here to support the Jax as they just essentially bust down towers with people standing near them. So the Nexus turret falls, and is Paradox going to pick up the cheeky? No. Inhibitor turret mid does survive, and Baron is up. Baron is a thing. And that's the inner tower and bot lane picked up for that Tasted Purple. A little bit of salvageable gold there. Right now, about a 5,000 gold lead for KC Bad Manners Club. We can see without Paradox, they're not very great in a straight up fight, but with Paradox, it's an entirely different ballgame. All focus is on that Jax right now. If they're able to kill the Jax, I think that Tasted Purple has the tools then to turn around the fight. If they can't deal with Jax, though,
that pretty much would be the fight.
But I mean, that's the fight. That's the game.
Fight. That's probably the game. Yeah. Sivir is sitting on 1,600 gold right now. Enough money for BF Sword or I guess Armor Pen if he chooses to go that route. Did complete the Phantom Dancer, so a little bit of survivability. Definitely not enough we saw in that last fight with the Jax, with the Karma, and I guess the Recon Shield. The Recon does have an Ardent Sensor. The Jax obviously just deleting people, constantly bopping, and it honestly sounds good. Jax is kind of fun to listen to.
Interesting with the Leandry's Torment on the Karma opting to go for the support more on the Recon, but Baron's getting burned down. Duckster gets vision of this. Baron's down to 6,000.
Paradox is in the bottom lane without teleport available, with looks like 2 from that Tasted Purple trying to match that.
Does FM jump in? 2,500 now on the Baron. FM pops his W. He jumps in. It's stolen by FM. As he picks up the Baron, he is going to pay for it. Duckster pays for it as he pops over the wall with his W. FM's going to go down as well without picking up anything in return, but he secures the Baron on 3 members. That might be enough to at least push Paradox back for now.
I believe that was a really unnecessary death there from the Zoe. Warwick, of course, needed to die, or did what he could to get the Baron. An excellent job there. The Zoe death is kind of, unneeded.
Factura is going to catch a Shy Guy right at the front of that, gets blown up as El Immortal picks up the kill. Quickening popped as well just to zone off, and now there's super minions fighting Baroned up minions. Paradox is just focusing down the tower. The tower's really the health bar to watch, although I guess Molto dies at the back of that to a Paddle Star. HQ's just standing in the middle of everything, trying to tank, but it's not going to be enough as he pays for it with his life. Paradox is turning out, sacrificing the rest of his team. Harrowing's being chased down by Tacit Noctua. Immortal's dying at the top of this fight, a double kill for Tacit Noctua. And the tower lives, and they pick up 4 kills in return. Oh, or is it 5? Ephraim's on the hunt, misses the Infinite Duress. And the Counter-Strike's going to secure his passage into the base.
Minor prize, but the Ocean Drake is spawning right now.
Yeah, I don't know that that's... They have the Baron buff up as well. They should just push it in and get a tower for it. Maybe secure a little bit of even pushing, but they are going to go for the Ocean Dragon instead. Neo pointing out, Ephraim got hit with the Zac with the Infinite Duress, so Zac couldn't smite during that Baron sequence, so he had the right of way on the smite, basically. So yeah, really nice play from Ephraim on that Baron steal. Thanks for pointing that out, Neo.
Mm-hmm. And then I guess during that last fight, you did mention Zoe landed the Paddle Star and Molto, kind of deleting one of the 2 big damage threats in that game. Like I know Molto's only 1 in 4, but he's still a 3-item Zaya. You're gonna do some damage when you're not really behind.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, neither one of our carries have picked up an Infinity Edge, so we're not seeing those really hard-hitting crits coming through from either of them. Opting for a little bit more defense, the Mercurial Scimitars finished up for Molto. How does Tacit have such good farm, asks Cosmic Arrow. He's playing Sivir?
Yeah, he's playing Sivir.
Ephraim's on the hunt. He's going to land a 3-man Fear. One of it does get blocked by the Banshee Veil, but now the fight breaks out. Big ultimate back out from Harrowing as he takes them over to his friend Paradox. Quickening comes in from the backside as we see the fight kind of split in half. Bunch of people falling down here as it's a 2-for-1 so far. Paradox tries to trade back on everybody as the fight kind of resets, but it's a 2-for-1 in favor of Bad Manners Club.
Duckster is on the wrong side of this.
Yeah, Duckster is not in friendly territory. He's playing the slippery Zoe. Paradox is being marked by the bottom lane. The amount of resources they need to devote to stop this Jax from split pushing is pretty incredible. Duckster does manage to survive on the backside of that fight. They're sending missing pings into their own jungle trying to find him, but it's not to be this time. So we're headed right down that road for another 58-minute game. Are you in this for the long haul, Mr. Wing Nation?
Of course I am. Just get ready for me to mute again as more laundry is done. Let's see here. I don't remember if Zoe had a completed Void Staff or not for that last fight. I did see the Blasting Wand pick up. I don't know how much of the rest was in her inventory.
Yeah, some other kind of interesting item pickups. The Iceborne Gauntlet on Warwick is kind of intriguing to me. As well as the Gargoyle Stone Plate. Not as intriguing, but definitely worth noting on the Harrowing. Makes him a super beefy boy once he gets in.
Does appear that both carries right now are, well, probably going for Infinity Edges. Could be going for like a Bloodthirster maybe, but at least a BF Sword in both of their inventories.
Yeah. Also, still worth noting is there's still no healing debuff on the side of Bad Manners Club. So HQ and FM both still have free reign of that regen department. So now Bad Manners Club has grouped up 4 in the mid lane, 1 in the top lane, as you would expect from this team comp. Duckster takes I believe that was just a Mantra Q. And his health bar not feeling too great after that.
On the hunt is pumped.
Yeah, Ephraim's on the hunt for Facturar. Going to close in, doesn't land the Howl. And now the 4-man squad has posted up in bot lane. Minute and 15 until the Elder Dragon.
Look at me, I'm Sivir. I skillfully cleared the wave.
Yeah, I like this setup, assuming that they then go back, grab some vision, and go for Elder Dragon. On the hunt pop from Tacit Noctua as he cancels a couple of autos that could have done some damage. But does get them to successfully back off. Not going to have that now for the Elder Dragon fight, assuming it's right as it spawns. Or I guess it'll be a very close timing on that. Just joining in, I take it the volley had a rough time in lane. He actually did alright very early on. But the Jax did outscale him pretty hard, I guess would be my summary of that lane.
He did even have that, like, especially early, Paradox had tried to do that play down in the mid lane, lost a couple levels. And then the volley just kind of had through a 2-level advantage.
Yeah, there's 4 people trying to collapse now on Paradox. The Elder Dragon spawning, we'll see if they pay for it too much as HQ picks up his first kill of the game. What is the objective now? I mean, he got the inhibitor. I guess that's completely worth it for Jax. Assuming that they don't lose... Oh, it's the Baron. Excuse me, the Baron is up now. The Elder Dragon's still another minute. I've been backwards on my symbols for some reason. The big purple monster, of course, is the Baron. Oh, didn't quite connect on the Paddle Star. I was interested to see how much damage that was going to be. Now they've caught Harrowing right at the front of that. Going to go ahead and burn his passive. FM jumps in on the other side. For some reason, we're watching the Zac passive being killed. As another sleep lands onto Elemortal. That's a big chunk as Tacit Noctua picks up a double kill. Factor trying to quickening to run away. Molto has to flash on the other side. There's the triple kill. And they're going to opt for the Baron. Do you like the choice of Baron over towers right now?
At this point, you just kind of worry about your side lanes. Jax teleporting actually into the top lane was just Zoe there to try and stop that.
Gets the GLP for the actual slowing. This is burning down pretty quick. Yeah, that's going to be successfully secured for that Tasted Purple, and now the whole squad's going to be able to teleport back pretty quick.
Also, for that successful fight for that Tasted Purple, the Sivir did complete the Infinity Edge and is currently sitting on over 2,000 gold that basically can't be spent unless they want to replace their boots. So we're seeing a full build 400 CS Sivir at the 41-minute mark. So, I mean, it's Sivir. Expect the fat crits once again for pretty much everyone.
So now the emphasis goes over to the Elder Dragon. Not the most important Elder Dragon on record, as both teams are pretty even on it, and they're not important dragons. FM gets caught a little bit over the wall. And the Elder Dragon, of course, gets into a tizzy. Tacit Noctua does pop on the hunt. So that might be an important skill that is down now. Now both teams setting up astride this blue buff.
Top minion wave is about to crash into the Nexus Dart.
Ooh. That might be something worth watching. If they can delay long enough, they may just get the game for free. Elder Dragon being chunked down now. It's at 5,000. Factory Guard jumps in. Paradox jumps in as well. They're able to immediately take out one. Both supports have gone down. Molto now trying to kite away from FMMA HQ. He gets flipped back over the shoulder. Going to go down there. Duckster and Paradox having a similar battle on the other side. Duckster's going to go down. There's a car in the background. Somebody help us. HQ now and Elemortal having a 1v1. HQ doesn't seem to want any part of that. How much damage did the minions do? Oh my goodness, that turret had probably around 40 health, I have to guess, as it's regenning up now. Now Paradox and Elemortal chasing the Volibear. Not going to find him though, as he has the Baron-empowered recall. And they're going to immediately get some vision back in that Elder Dragon pit. The side wave controlled just good enough from that Tasted Purple to save their Nexus turret. I believe they come out ahead on that fight. That's a 3-for-2, if I'm not completely off my rocker. And the gold lead is identical, by the way. About 100 gold lead right now for KC Bad Manners Club. HQ and Tacit Noctua starting up the Elder Dragon. And Shy Guy's here. The jungler Ephraim finally getting in toward them. Nice double snare over from Shy Guy as Ephem's going to secure the Elder Dragon. Misses the Infinite Duress, though. Paradox going to try to punish him for that as 4 men grouped up on the hunt, trying to allow that Tasted Purple to regroup. Zoe has rejoined the fight as they immediately destroy Rakan at the front of the fight. Now the tanks just bashing each other right in the front. Tacet Noctua is getting free fire, though, and Molto's fighting minions as that Tasted Purple picks up another kill onto Harrowing, trying to turn as they get the redemption. I couldn't even think of the name there for a second. Immortal and Molto now trying to run away. Paradox is dead. Oh, the Nexus turret has fallen in the background. They're going to take the inhibitor turret as their own Nexus turret falls. FM had to recall in order to make sure that their Nexus stays alive. And that's all they want. The 4-man squad from that Tasted Purple going to peel out of the base.
Much better fight from that Tasted Purple there. They were able to play more of a standard front to back. The previous fight, Paradox was able to basically solo out Duckster and Tacet Noctua. But that time, that, as you said, during the fight, Tacet Noctua just kind of got the free fire and get the constant sever damage and just slowly destroy everyone.
I feel like they pulled out of the base just a little bit early there. I don't know that that's... I can't say that with 100% certainty, but...
Their AD carry was low and has no sustain that I'm aware of. None in the runes and none in the build. They could have gone bottom. There was a minion wave pushed relatively close to the bottom inhib tower.
So now the only inhibitor down is in the mid lane in favor of that Tasted Purple. They're back in the gold lead now at about 3,000. This gold graph is going to look interesting at the end of the game.
Absolutely. Currently, I think the person really benefiting out of this is that Volibear, who's been behind. Still is down at this point over 200 CS, but the Jax have been sitting full build for a while now. The Volley finally completing a 4th item, slowly getting to just a giant health tank. Of course, it still is Volibear as a champion, so who knows how effective he'll be.
Yeah, but he does have the Dead Man's Plate for a little bit more reliability there and the speed. I don't know about the Sunfire Cape pickup necessarily, but it's an okay item, I guess. Jax is going to get caught by the Sleepy Trouble Bubble. Nothing really happening out of the end of that, just a little bit of damage done. The one Ocean Drake will keep them nice and topped off. Minion waves, bot lane pushing in for KC Bad Manners Club. Top wave is actually pushing in for probably the first time this game for that Tasted Purple. Jax is asleep again, but yeah, we're starting to see Duckster hurting without the bonus from the Sleepy Trouble Bubble.
I would certainly hope so. That's 756 AP on the Zoe. Any long-range Qs should be doing over 1,000 damage to a priority target, closer to like 1,600 if you count in the passive.
Initiation attempt from Harrowing. Paradox is going to flank in from the side as they do get onto Ephem. All of the tanks are just kind of mashing here in the front. Both AD carries now. Molto's actually in a little bit of trouble. Paradox is going to jump in on Tacet Noctua. We're watching the front end of this fight as Bad Manners Club able to mop up on the front end as FM and HQ have both fallen in exchange for 0. Paradox able to do enough to zone off the Sivir. They're jumping in. Is this the end of that Tasted Purple as Paradox jumps in and they pick up another kill? Duckster now falling as well, and it's Sivir versus the world now. Not even a Nexus turret left. Harrowing getting the advantage on that, and this looks like it's going to be game number 1. Will we see some heroics from Tacet Noctua? No, that's the end of the health bar.
That's it.
Hyping that up for nothing. Game number 1 goes over to KC Bad Manners Club. It took them 48 minutes, but yeah, they win despite being at a kill disadvantage. I'm gonna just put up some stats because I'm sure they look a little bit bananas. What are your thoughts on game number 1?
Obviously, it was a back and forth game, 48 minutes. The Sivir was able to scale up. The Jax was able to hit full build early and still was able to keep himself reliable and like worth something despite not adding anything in terms of items. A bunch of money that was unspent. Almost identical damage from the carries for that Taste of Purple. 2,000 gold or damage difference in favor of the Sivir. But the Jack's putting up 44,000 against the squishy targets mostly.
Big shout out to Facturar for almost having the Flame Horizon vision score. I don't know exactly how to quantify that, but 203 vision score to 107 for the enemy support seems like that's a lot. 109 wards placed that game for him.
Uh, as pointed out, the Zaya damage was lacking there. 23,000 on the Zaya. Still gets the win, but the Karma put up 15,000 more. The Jax put up 21,000 more.
Yeah. Game one MVP. I think there's one choice only.
It's got to be Paradox.
Yeah. Again, big shout out to Facturar though. 109 wards is ridiculous. So definitely honorable mention there. But yeah, Paradox will grab the game one MVP. I think we're gonna take just a small break. I'm gonna eat the rest of my dinner here while they set up the lobby for game number two. I'm gonna throw on some tunes.
All right.
We'll be back in just a couple of minutes with game number two between that Taste of Purple and the KC Bad Manners Club. For the record, I'm here. I've successfully eaten all of the chicken nuggets that I had.
That's the way.
Can I play a hot new mixtape? That depends on, yeah, it also depends on if it's a DRM, because if you've got a label, I can't play it. I don't need to get my beautiful voice muted.
Wow.
Oh, I probably shouldn't play this song. No one needs Welcome to Planet Earth remix.
Everyone needs that.
Oh, it's terrible though. I'm still not even sure how this is a Welcome to Planet Earth remix. I don't think Planet Earth is even involved in this. Winged, how you feeling? Excellent. All this talk about him soloing the